Hello, motherfuckers. John the Other here, obviously.
The woman you see on your screen right now is Hilla Kerner. And before you ask, yes, she's single. She's also the spokesmodel for Vancouver's Women's Rape Relief Shelter, which is an organization whose volunteer street donation collectors will tell you receives no direct funding from provincial or federal government, which is a technically true statement. The key phrase is direct funding. Rape relief is funded through a variety of arm's-length organizations so that there is no single-step financial link between any department of government and the shelter's bank account. Think of it as 1 degree of Kevin Bacon in a film where Kevin Bacon plays a money launderer for a feminist political influence peddling organization. But I digress. The reason I have put this handsome woman on your screen is that she is part of a protest in front of the courthouse in Surrey, British Columbia, where the first scheduling hearing for the trial of Vancouver Police Detective James Fisher is being held. Detective Fisher is a highly decorated senior Vancouver sex crimes officer who has been key to disrupting a number of organized sex trafficking and human trafficking rings with operations in Canada's largest western port city, Vancouver. Fisher is also shortly to be on trial on a number of charges, including sexual exploitation, sexual assault, breach of trust, and attempt to obstruct justice. If Detective Fisher is found to be guilty, it will be a very sad end to a career distinguished by protecting some of the most vulnerable women who are preyed upon by criminals in the illicit organized sex trade. It will be a very sad day if Detective Fisher is, in fact, guilty of the charges he is facing. But this brings us back to Hilla Kerner. I was initially quite confused by the photos of Vancouver Rape Relief Shelter's spokesmodels protesting in front of the Surrey courthouse. I thought, wouldn't Vancouver's Rape Relief Shelter be hoping for a not guilty finding in the charges against Detective Fisher? After all, he is one man who has done more to protect women from criminal sexual exploitation than almost any other person in Canada. Were they maybe protesting against his arrest? When I first saw this news item, it was on my cell phone, the screen of which was too small to read the text of the protest signs in the photo. Now, for those who can't read the signs in the picture on my video, they read as follows. One says, "Wanted," and then there's a colorful picture of the Vancouver Police coat of arms, followed by the text, "For failing to arrest Johns." Now, setting aside my own very personal reasons for disliking the use of the word John being used as a slang to describe the paying customers of sex workers, I see that, bizarrely, the protesting rape relief shelter volunteers are protesting against the Vancouver police force for failing to arrest, although they clearly have arrested one of their own in the person of Detective James Fisher. As for arresting Johns, it may be that they have not yet implemented an aggressive crackdown on the paying clients of sex workers after the enactment of the horrendous Bill C-36, because outside of situations where a sex worker is forced into the business of providing sex for money by violent coercion, women making a living through sex work and the customers who patronize them are committing crimes without victims. One party in a transaction gets a service, the other party gets a pretty lucrative income. But that's just my speculation. I am not personally invited to any of the high-level meetings informing the Vancouver Police Department's enforcement policies. The second protest sign in the photo reads, "Who will protect women from the Vancouver Police Department?" Now, apparently, according to the logic of the Rape Relief Shelter, it is not the Vancouver Police Department who will protect women. The same Vancouver Police Department who just arrested Detective James Fisher. And I guess since his arrest, it won't be James Fisher protecting women either. I understand that unconventional organizations like the mob sometimes offer protection schemes as well, so maybe they can help. And without individuals like James Fisher to disrupt their business, these unconventional organizations like the mob or the triads or certain motorcycle enthusiasts may be very well positioned to offer various services, including protection, to the community. But regardless of our estimation of Detective Fisher's probable guilt or innocence in the charges he is now facing, he has undeniably been a heroic figure in the fight against organized criminal sexual exploitation of women in Vancouver. And the loss to the community of Detective Fisher is a tragic one, even more tragic if, based on evidence, we come to the conclusion that he is guilty. And that is my problem with Vancouver Rape Relief's spokesmodel Hilla Kerner. For her, the destruction of James Fisher is nothing but an opportunity. His factual innocence or guilt are of no consequence whatsoever. For Hilla Kerner, all that matters is promotion of female victimization, even if it casts the entire Vancouver Police Department into the role of sexual predator. A question that was not written on any protest sign was, who will protect officers of the Vancouver Police Department from exploitation by power-seeking and fun-seeking opportunists masquerading as opponents of human trafficking? Maybe that will be a job for the courts. This would not be the first time I have been accused of outrageous optimism. Or perhaps, if we blindly submit and give Vancouver Rape Relief more political power and more of our tax dollars, although not directly, only through financial umbrella organizations so they can keep claiming they are not directly funded by government, then maybe they will be able to fund their own private army, their own private enforcers and protectors. But regardless of what you are willing to believe, I will be watching the James Fisher trial with close attention, and on each court date that does not fall on a work day for me, I will be in the courtroom. The Lighthouse Project, which you may have heard of mentioned on Diana Davison's channel, is tracking this case closely. We would like to believe that Detective Fisher is innocent, but such a determination will depend on the evidence of the case. We do not simply #believe. Evidence matters. Which brings me to the reason for mentioning the Lighthouse Project in this video. That is the question. What can the Lighthouse Project do for you? Well, what happens when you or somebody you care about is accused of a crime? An accused person needs to inform their lawyer of the facts of their case, just as a lawyer needs those facts and evidence to support their client's innocence. But an accused person is often in a state of stress which can reduce their ability to organize their own evidence. Lawyers use their skills in the court on behalf of their clients, but a lawyer is not a therapist. Although lawyers are often forced to play the role of therapist before hearing the facts of a case. Lighthouse works with clients to research, to document, and to organize the facts of their case. And we do this for free, without billing clients at the hourly rates of a skilled attorney. We produce a concise and organized timeline of events and evidence which clients can provide to their lawyer. This increases their chances of success in court and reduces the burden on lawyers and reduces the cost to their clients. If you would like to help support this work, you can donate here. There's a link in this video description. As always, thanks for listening, and have a lovely, lovely day.